Hello, it's Jane here. I am sitting at my kitchen table on what is actually turning out to be the most beautiful April day, if a bit cold, with a box and a bowl of food scraps, because today I'm going to do something a little bit different. That's going to be the first part of, I think it's going to be a very short series about using a Bokashi bin. Now, if you've never heard of a Bokashi bin, which, excuse me, I hadn't until I think a couple of years ago, Paul Savadant showed a Bokashi bin on Planet Vegetarian, Richard and Paul, and it sort of triggered my interest, but I didn't think I'd ever have any use for one. But since I've looked into it recently, it's actually going to be perfect for my needs. So the people at Gardening Naturally, they of the fantastic Fruit Cage and Strawberry Tunnel, have sent me one to trial out. Now, when I say they've sent me one Bokashi bin, what I mean is they've sent me a Bokashi bin kit. And so I've said I'll do an unboxing and a little setup, and then hopefully over the next, it'll probably be the next couple of months, I'll do a couple of updates as to what has happened and whether it's been successful or not. Because if you haven't believed me, I've just done all my homework. I've been on Google for the last couple of days looking this up. But Bokashi basically means, or the Western interpretation of the Japanese word Bokashi means fermented organic matter. So what a Bokashi bin is going to do is turn your kitchen scraps into basically a pre-compost. Now, I'm going to be quiet now and I'm going to open this box, because as I go through the contents, I'll be able to show you what I mean more and what we're going to use it for. So you can tell I've already opened the box, can't you? I got too excited the other day, but I promise I haven't done too much to it. So come on, let's have a little look. Right, let's have a look. Okay, you'll have to forgive all the detritus and bags and everything behind me. Can you see? Honestly, our house, every time there's some sort of school holiday, we have a project on the go. And this time it is dismantling the fireplace in the middle room. A Victorian fireplace with 100-and-odd-year-old bricks. That's fun. Right, okay, you can imagine the mess, can't you? Okay, in the box today, Jane, we have, that's very, very simple. Nice big box will be used for a bed. It's one of those things, isn't it? I get really excited, especially if they're nice brown cardboard boxes. Right, okay, here we have basically 2 bins, and I will tell you why in a moment we have 2. And what we have at the bottom, obviously a handy handle, is this, like a drain, like some sort of sieve, a filter, should you wish. And that's going to sit on the bottom there. And on that, you start to layer your food. Now, let's just see what else we've got in here. We have got a tamp. Okay, you'll be familiar with these maybe when you're doing your seed sowing. Let's put that there. We have got a small scoop. Let's put this, oh, this is going to be fun trying to balance all this. We have got these lovely things that I've got those fantastically Victorian sounding name, or Dickensian sounding name, which is your spigot, which is a device that goes on to the side of your bucket, which I'll talk about in a moment. Where can I put those? I'll put those down there. So clearly you've got 2 of those. And then you've got the magic ingredient, which is your Bokashi bran. And it's this that helps the whole magic process. I keep saying magic, don't I? I know it's scientific. By helping your food break down anaerobically, as opposed to if it was in your compost bin outside, it would be aerobically. Because in this process, we are going to try and exclude as much air as possible. And this bran, from what I can make out, has microbes in it which help digest and get get the bacteria of your food going to help it break down even quicker. Okay, let's put this thing together. Okay, one of the first things I'm going to do is attach the delightfully named spigot. Okay, it's just a tap, and you can see on one side it's got off, and when you turn it, it says on. So basically this is just a plastic, would you call it a plastic bolt, and a couple of plastic washers. Okay, so I would assume that you're going to have the plastic washer either side of the outlet thing. I'm going to remove the filter while I do it. Let's put that there, and I'm just going to pop that in there. Pop the washer on the other side, and make sure that this is attached as well as it can possibly be. You can't see this bit, but basically you want to make sure that that bolt isn't threaded at all. It's moving around really, really nicely, because this is the only part that the juice that is going to be coming off the vegetables and off your foodstuffs, this is the only part it can actually escape. So if you haven't got this on strong enough, and it's difficult to do because I've got a pulley finger, you've got to make sure that is really, really tight. Okay, this is the inside of our Bokashi bucket, bin, whatever you want to call it. Double check that your bolt, oh, I can tighten that a little bit more there, there's a little bit of give. Okay, it's nice and tight, and then we're going to put in our filter, which has got this nice little bit here to help you lift it in and out. So you can see already what's going to happen. The food's going to sit on top, any juices are going to flow into the base of the bucket, and we're going to be able to extract them using the tap. But the next thing, and this is the very, very start of the whole process, is to use your Bokashi bran, which actually, if you can smell that, which you won't be able to, has got a really lovely yeasty smell. Well, actually, it smells like beer. Well, I suppose that's yeast, isn't it? But if you're familiar with making sourdough bread, that is the smell you get. Now I'm going to use the scoop that's been provided. It's very difficult to do this sometimes because you're actually upside down, so I'm hoping you can see that. And I'm going to use about a scoopful of that just to layer on the bottom of the bin. Okay, not too much. Oh my goodness, it's actually flying everywhere. But no, now there'll be people out there saying, but Jane, it's going through the holes. Yes, it is. But I don't care at this stage, because I need to have a layer of bran before I put in my foodstuff. So I think that is going to be about enough. Let me just clip this up. Oh, there you go. You see, upside down filming. You nearly fell off. Okay. Let's put a clip on this so I don't get bran everywhere. Right, and the next thing actually is to add the food. Now if I move you over there, can you still see? Yeah. Now it says the beauty of Bokashi, I can do it that way, can I get you both on? I can. The beauty of Bokashi is that it's not just about your vegetables, your fruits, your coffee grounds, etc. Excuse me. You can also use things like meat, dairy products, not milk obviously, because you don't want liquids in there as much as you can help it. Fish, things that you wouldn't usually put in your compost heap at home, you can put in. Now, as it happens today, I've got nothing like that in there, but you can put it, I've seen people put in like whole things like this, and 4 weeks later they've pretty much disappeared. But what I'm going to do with larger things is just try to do it upside down again for you. It's just break it apart, okay, because clearly the smaller the surface area, the quicker it's going to work. So let's just pull the rest of that apart now. This, you know what, this lettuce looked okay, but it's one of those, it's gone brown at the bottom and it's given it a really, really bitter taste when that happens. So that's going in. Okay, I think that'll do. And then, what else have I got? Oh, I can just tip the rest in, I think. Oh, I have got a banana there, I'll chop that up. Okay, I have got onion skins, I have got a whole banana. You know what? It's going to go in, it'll be interesting to see what it comes out like. Lemon, eggshells, are fine. So I've got coffee grounds in there, big bit of tomato, some avocado. Okay, so that, even got a whole thing of garlic there. That is going in. I'm going to chop up this banana, but I'll use its other banana friend to see if one of them's identifiable in a few weeks' time. Right, okay, let's put that back there. And now, I would say there, yes, that would be better if I chop them down a bit more, but I'm not going to, because what I'm going to do now, oh, I've just sealed this, is put, oh no, I do this first? I'm going to put another layer of bran on top, but not before I have tamped down using the tamper. Again, might be familiar if you're using one for your soil and your seed sowing. I'm going to tamp it down first because I'm trying to get rid of as much air as possible, which again is why really you should chop your food down a bit more, but that's going to be okay. And I'm going to use another scoop of bran. Can you see? Let's see. There we go. And I'm just going to coat that. And that bran is not going to be adding special bacteria and microbes to the food, but it will also be helping to soak up any juices which can then be dispelled. That's all I need. I'm going to keep that scoop in the bag. It does smell nice, you know, because I've got fruit in there as well, so it smells like fruity beer now. So yeah, again, chop them up a bit more if you want. That could probably do with chopping up a bit more. But that is as easy as it is. Now, I've not done it before, as ever. I'm taking you with my on my little journey. There we are, I feel a bit better about that. The whole garlic clove in there, that can go. Got a whole thing in there. But to be honest, that is going to be how I'm using it. I'm not going to spend forever each time chopping everything up. So this is real life bokashi. Right, I'm going to give it one more tamp with that, which is actually really pleasing. Oh dear, my plaster's come off. That's not good. Don't want that in there. Yeah, which is really pleasing because you feel like already you're starting the process. Scrape the bran down from the outside, pop that away, and then most important bit is put on the lid. Now this lid is a lovely, strong, sealed lid because we want, as I say, as little air getting into there as possible. Okay. Let me tell you why I think it's going to be good for me. Okay, there we have it. The first part of my bokashi. Oh, I think what's in there is not very nice. Maybe I shouldn't hug the bucket. But yeah, that is the first part of my bokashi journey complete. And yeah, I'm really quite pleased. It is really a pleasing thing to do. The reason this is good for me is because our allotment it's not that far away, but what happens with us more often than not is when we are saving all our fruit and vegetable peelings, coffee grounds, eggshells, all that sort of stuff, we tend to put them in a big bucket or a big sort of waterproof bag for life type thing. And then when we go to the allotment, we put it on the compost heap. That's fine at the time of year when you are going up to the allotment regularly, and you know you can make that regular journey and dispose of your food waste. However, more often than not, it sits in the bag and starts to attract fruit flies, and then to be honest, it all gets a bit nasty and tends to go out in the garden waste bin, which, okay, that's going to make compost for someone, but not for us. So to have a system at home that we can be getting on with, it's perfect for us. It still means, like for example, this, we'll probably use something like this here to collect enough scraps in, because I know that if I put a plate over that so it's sealed, I can keep that on the kitchen counter somewhere. I can put my scraps in there, and once that's 3/4 nearly full, then there's enough to create a layer in the bucket. You don't want to be just chucking in the odd apple core, because you want to limit the amount of times you keep opening this lid. Again, that's why it's really important to have something with a really secure sealed lid, because you're trying to restrict as much airflow as possible. So this will stay on the side once it's full, so we're not going to get an overflowing bag or bucket, which is what we've had in the past. Once that's full, then it will go into here and be treated with a little bit of bran. And yeah, we can leave it then, keep going, and then once it's full, the contents will have created, they won't have rotted down into compost as you would expect from a compost heap, but they'll have rotted to something that really has been described as a pre-compost. So that then is perfect. We will be using it to go straight into the compost heap, but instead of having to go up every couple of days, it'll probably be once a fortnight, 3 weeks, a month, okay. Or you can either put it directly onto the compost heap, or you can dig a bit if you've got some fallow ground somewhere, which I know none of us have, but a piece of ground that you're not using, dig it in, layer it with, dig a trench, layer it, put it in, layer it with an inch or two of ordinary garden soil, and it will break down. It will take a few weeks to break down, and when it's first in the soil, it is going to be too acidic, I would say, to put near any plant roots. So don't use it as a mulch in the same way that you might do like your ordinary compost, okay, because for the first week or two it's very, very acidic and you don't want to burn the roots, okay. But if you've got somewhere you can just dig it in, fine. If not, put it on your compost, okay. The other bonus of this is after a couple of days, I don't do it now, I should be able to turn that tap to the on position, and the leachate as it's called, the liquid that's leached away from the vegetables so far, I can start using that straight away as in a dilution of, I think it's 1 to 100, 1 part of the liquid with 100 parts of water, to start watering my veg with. Again, it's very acidic, so don't use it too strong. But again, that's another benefit. So you're draining the liquid away to help create this really airtight pre-compost, but you can use the liquid as well, so nothing's wasted. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to find a nice indoor spot. It's probably going to go in the utility room, which is just next to the kitchen. So it's really handy because part of my composting, and it's got to be easy. It's not something I'm really excited about generally, because it seems like a bit of a chore, and I'm sure it will do for many of you out there as well. It's got to be an easy, straightforward thing to do. So if I have this next to the kitchen, here comes Mike, next to the kitchen, and then he's put me off, he smiled at me. Thank you. Bokashi. Yeah, once my bowl is full, tips into there, handful of bran, I can forget about it, okay, for the next couple of days until I empty the next bowl. So yeah, anyway, I will bring you along on my Bokashi journey with me, and we'll come back in probably about a month's time, I reckon, 3 to 4 weeks, when this will have started to really fill up, okay, and we'll see where to go from there. But yeah, do you use the Bokashi system? Do you, have you made your own Bokashi bin? That's an interesting thing. I know there are lots of things out there as how to make your own. What I like about this is it, and I have mentioned gardening naturally before, I know, but it's really, really airtight. So fairly foolproof. You certainly don't want a leak in your Bokashi bin, because if the liquid that comes out is anything like comfrey tea, you certainly don't want that anywhere near your kitchen. Okay, so yeah, let me know, have you used it? Are you going to use it? Are you interested in it? Just put them all in the comments below. Come along to Instagram, come along to Facebook, subscribe if you want to follow the rest of the journey, and hopefully I'll see you again at the weekend, because the weather's promising to be nice, and we'll be back up at the plot.